Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And David Zaslav is on a tear. He's tearing through Warner Brothers, tearing through CNN, tearing through OWN, that's the Oprah Winfrey Network, tearing through DC. We're going to talk about this. A lot of layoffs coming, a lot of trimming coming, trimming of the fat. No offense to anyone who might be a little pudgy working for Warner.
I was like, are you insulting me? No.
So we're gonna talk about this because we told you, David Zaslav. I was told when he was first hired, like, oh my God, things are gonna get bad at Warner's because this guy does not care. He only looks at numbers. And, he's trying to save as much money as he possibly can from Warner. And honestly, at the end of the day, they're probably going to sell this company to somebody else in a couple of years. But he went on this tour, remember, and he was going and talking to everybody and taking their opinions into consideration. And I'm your friend, everybody. And I told you exactly what he was doing because I've worked in corporate for years. He's going to get you a little drunk. And he's going to have you explain to him why he should keep you.
Yeah.
And, if you slip up, well, I only work maybe 2 hours out of a 40-hour work week. Oh, that's so funny.
No one's going to say it to the boss, though.
No.
I mean, no one's that stupid.
I don't know.
CNN,
I don't know. There's some pretty dumb people out there. But I think he's basically like, yeah, we've got a lot of bloat. Again, no offense to anyone who might be bloated. We're gonna talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, over 274,000 subs.
Yay! We're getting close to 275, right?
We are. We're almost there. Speaking of getting close, Crimson Wren will be launching tonight or tomorrow.
Yay! Finally.
Finally. Well, we had to get the printing quote.
We had to lock down everything.
We had to lock down everything. So this is a comic book, a graphic novel. It's an original IP. It's a prequel to Shadowbinders. It's 10 years in the making. Not that it took 10 years to draw, but Jose Garcia is doing the art. Stories by Geeky, script by Geeky and myself. Yada, yada, yada. It's a lot of fun. Hopefully you support it.
Yada, yada, yada. It's
yada,
fun.
yada,
Whatever.
yada.
It's
That's going to be the pull quote on the back of the cover. Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
By the book. So this hopefully will be the first of many new projects coming from Clownfish Studios. Anyway, CNN boss Chris Licht, I don't know if it's Licht or Light, warns anxious staffers over more changes after axing of reliable sources and exit of Brian Stelter. We knew that they were going to start chopping people at CNN and they're chopping people at Oprah's network and nobody's safe. It doesn't matter because I guarantee you there are going to be articles in the next couple days.
About racism?
Like, Zaslav hates black women because they cut. No. Zaslav hates everybody equally.
Yeah.
He hates you all. He hates all of you MFers equally. And he's proving it daily. I mean, it's almost daily that he's just going through. And this is cute. This is like their first round of layoffs. This is going to go on for months. I don't know what's going to be left of Warner by the time he's done. Now, he did say before that he was putting this Chris Licht guy in charge to turn CNN into a reputable, middle-of-the-road news outlet.
Right. Which I think there's a demand for. People want, I think everybody's just getting tired of it, except for the very far extremes, which make up a very tiny percentage of the public at large. People want something that's more reasonable and, middle of the road. Yeah.
So, I mean, he got rid of CNN Plus after 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Yeah, that was fun. And like millions.
It was like $500 million they sunk into it. And everybody's like, well, nobody would just burn this down. No, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
You don't understand.
He'd given us a fraction of that to tell him it was a bad idea, which we said it was a bad idea.
I'm sure he had people tell him it was a bad idea. So anyway, CNN's chairman and CEO told anxious staffers Friday that more changes are coming. Basically.
Changes,
Layoffs. He addressed the news of Brian Stelter's exit following the cancellation of his Sunday show Reliable Sources. According to sources who were present, Licht told CNN employees at Friday's well-attended editorial meeting there will be moves you may not agree with or understand. Some took that to mean they might not like some of the changes. I think some of you are going to get voted off the island. He added, I want to acknowledge to everyone that this is a time of change. I know that's unsettling. He also expressed some irritation over media reports about CNN's plans, characterizing them as incorrect assumptions. The exec stressed to staff that those fluid plans are only known by a few in CNN management's inner circle. Still, the sudden departure of longtime media reporter Stelter and the decades-running reliable sources has left both on-air and behind-the-scenes talent at Warner Brothers, the cable newser, is that a word? The Warner Brothers owned cable newser, worried about both the direction CNN is going in their own jobs, mostly their own jobs. Yeah, they said the cancellation of reliable sources heightened anxieties. Nobody's safe. He doesn't care. Mm-hmm. No one is safe. Look, they said it. No one is safe or secure right now, a CNN staffer told Deadline. Like, look, I don't agree with all the stuff they're doing. I mean, they're yanking animation off of HBO Max. Like, they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to merge Discovery and Max together. I did not know that involved getting rid of a lot of HBO Max content.
No, and I can't imagine how stressful it is over there for everyone right now. So we're not making light of any of that. We don't want anybody to lose their jobs unless they're an asshole. But it's just like, I don't envy the position these people are in. But, we've been saying this is going to happen.
Well, here's where it gets interesting. This is where the speculation comes from. Around 3 years left on the 7-figure contract he signed in 2021, Stelter's departure also triggered immediate speculation as to the role of John Malone, one of the largest investors in Warner Brothers Discovery. As the merger was being examined by the Justice Department, Malone in November told CNBC that he wanted CNN to evolve back to the kind of journalism that it started with and actually have journalists.
Don't we all? I'm not trying to be a jerk, but don't we all?
Actually have journalists, and they got rid of Brian Stelter.
It's a kind of a slap, but
that is kind of a
people
slap.
Are getting really, really tired of divisive shit, and the media is leading the way, and they're usually the cause of a lot of the divisiveness. And then we've seen people get sued because media runs just willy-nilly with things, and they don't check it. Like journalists aren't doing the job that they used to.
So getting rid of Stelter stoked fears that Discovery might stifle CNN journalists and steer away from calling out indecency and injustice.
Well, here's the kicker. There's been a lot of indecency and injustice on, certain... It's like, you could argue the same with other extremist news outlets on the other side, that there's indecency and injustice that gets blown over depending on the way outlet leans. And a real news outlet and real journalists would be calling out indecency and injustice across the board. And I'm not trying to be an asshole here, but I mean, even as somebody that, normie people are starting to notice that, like, wait, we're seeing a lot of things happen to certain groups of people, but other groups of people, we know have things that Twitter and things like that actively protected and booted people off for mentioning, and no one's raiding people's houses for that shit. I mean, I'm not, I'm no fan of Trump, but I think it's absolute bullshit that his house gets raided, but then we didn't raid Hillary Clinton's, we aren't raiding Hunter Biden and all that shit. And the general public at large is starting to call this out. If you want to talk about real indecency and injustice, then you need to call it out across the board fairly.
And that's it. And we don't have, I can't think of any completely fair news outlets out there, because we do have, the right-wing outlets that are, they tend to skew far the other way.
But the majority of them are left-leaning.
Yeah, the majority are left-leaning. So it's almost like, I remember you used to turn on the nightly news, and for the most part, you could trust that you were being given facts. And now it's like, it's opinion with facts being used to support opinion.
It's opinion, using facts to sway it and try to control narrative.
Yeah, and then the media's always been sleazy, but it just, in the last 5 to 8 years, it's definitely ramped up.
It's basically just election machines, and that's what they are. It's just like, are you Republican or Democrat? Okay, this is the arm of that. It's basically an extension of the parties.
Of the state.
And that's not, are we China now? I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Well, anyway, yeah, I just think it's interesting. They said this is coming from above. One insider told Deadline. The source added about the influential stockholder, Eddie Malone. This isn't coming from John Malone directly. It sure represents his thinking with lieutenants doing his bidding.
I think it's called the market demands honest journalism that calls out both sides and just tells people the truth.
Yeah, so he didn't see it coming, Stelter, apparently. He said...
he has a contract. I wouldn't have either.
I have to gather my thoughts. He wrote on an augmented version of his widely read Reliable Sources newsletter last night. So he didn't, he didn't have anything else lined up. I'm sure.
He was under contract. He probably figured, hey, I'm good.
Well, so this is, this is going to happen across the board, not just CNN. So it's not just CNN, but we've been reporting on, I guess you call it reporting, I don't know. We've been opining on all of these digital media outlets like, the Kotakus and the Vices and the Voxes and the whatever running out of money. And that's what is motivating all of this.
Because the general public's tired of the shit and they're just like turning away from all of it.
Yeah, the money is running out. If Warner wasn't in such a bad financial place right now, they could afford to keep the over opinionated talking heads on salary, but they're like, nah, you're actually costing us money.
I think the general public and the majority of people at this point don't trust the media.
No.
Because the media, and then we saw it like with the COVID thing and the pandemic and all this other stuff, the media clearly has, depending on the outlet, certain points of view that they're, and it's more about, like I said, pandering to that point of view, to that party, than it is to tell the news and be fair. And there's only a couple outlets out there that I think actually are legitimately fair. And that's what the demand is for. People are seeing through it. You might have got away with it a year or two, but now it's just the media is there basically just to keep everybody pissed and upset and for clicks. And people don't trust the media anymore. That's the problem. They don't trust them.
They're tuning out. People are tuning in to watch, YouTubers and alternative media and other news outlets, and because they don't trust CNN anymore. And CNN used to be, back in the day, it was kind of the go-to. I mean, it was like the go-to news source, and it's just not. It's just not now. OWN, that's Oprah Winfrey's network. Nobody's safe. As far as Zaslav is concerned, the Ezra Miller situation, he's looking at the money spent. Like, we spent $200 million on this Flash movie. We want DC to be something. So I think they're giving him way more chances. But the diversity shield doesn't even seem to work with this guy. It's just like, you're gone. You're gone. It doesn't matter. And I guarantee you there are going to be lots of articles written about how racist he is, whatever. There are articles written. I mean, they're writing, doing podcasts and writing about him losing grip. He's losing grip of Hollywood. He doesn't know what he's doing. I'm like, he's just looking at the numbers. That's it. He's literally just looking at the numbers. And, he's like, this can be cut. That can be cut. This can be cut. That can be cut. And they're going into like bunker mode over at Warner Brothers Discovery. And this is a company that for years was just freewheeling, free spending.
That's why they ran out of money.
That's why they ran out of money. And they got a taste of budgetary constraint with AT&T, but that is nothing compared to what's going to happen. And again, I think he's just getting a prep to sell.
It feels like it, but that's so funny. Someone had like a thing on, I saw it on Twitter, and it has like Warner Brothers, like George of the Jungle, where he keeps hitting stuff, swinging on a vine, and he keeps hitting a tree, and each tree had a different owner.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's one after another after another.
That's pretty much it. Now, some of these people at Oprah Winfrey's network have been there for a long time, over a decade. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. It doesn't matter. And we're going to see a lot more of this. I am thinking he's going to look at this situation and be like, okay, well, we can just roll the... maybe he'll get rid of some of these channels completely and just be like, do we really need because look at Discovery now. Like, you look at the app, there's like 50 freaking different channels on there. And he's probably like Travel Channel's not even Travel Channel anymore. It's Paranormal tab on Discovery Plus.
But I don't mind that. That's
I know.
Favorite.
I like
That's
it.
one of my favorite things I watch.
I like it too, but there is no more Travel Channel. I remember we used to watch a Travel Channel and they would have shows like, hey, look, here's like the most expensive hotels in the world. Here's a cruise ship documentary.
Discovery, the tabs seem to be, like the paranormal shows, like the home shows, like the renovations or the DIY stuff. And then like the 90-Day Fiance type shows. It seems like those are the three that they keep focusing on, the reality TV.
Well, that's it. And that's the common thread. Like, most of it is reality. And we're seeing
almost all of it is.
And so I think he's going to streamline and be like, okay, CNN is news, centrist news. We're going to have like one hub for making content. Maybe, I mean, he might even get rid of, the different channels. Like, maybe he'll get rid of Animal Planet. Be like, do we need Animal Planet? We can just make animal shows and throw them on Discovery or whatever. Do we need all these channels? I don't know what's going to happen. But this is not a good sign. A lot of people saying he is not your friend. He's not Hollywood's friend. And we told you this when he started that tour. I'm like, no, he's the Bobs from Office Space. He's going around and he's asking people what they do. And he's formulating a plan. He's not just chatting you up. He's like, yeah, I don't think we need this person, that person, this division, that division. And here we are. And it's going to get worse. I guarantee you it's going to get a lot worse. So good luck with that. I'm going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.